Hey guys, what's good? It is August 15th, 2026. It's Shane's World News Views podcast for the week. Former United States Marine Robert Gilman, he was being detained in Russia. He has been released with an agreement from President Trump and President Putin of Russia. He was originally sentenced to over 4 years because he supposedly beat a Russian police officer when he was detained and taken off of I believe, a train for causing a disturbance. But he disagreed with that. His family disagreed with that, said that never happened. Who knows? He was released, and it's good that he's back in the United States, plain and simple. There was an earthquake in Colombia this week that killed over 300 people. So that's always crazy and a tragedy when you hear shit like that. So that sucks, plain and simple. With that, also, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt announced that she's going to be leaving her position at the end of the month. She just had a newborn baby, so she's, leaving. She was a great asset to President Trump. She spoke very well to the media. She didn't get nasty with them, even though they got nasty with her at times. And she's a very patient lady. And the only people you're going to hear talk stuff on Caroline Leavitt are the lefties that are just, trying to, bash everything that's related to President Trump and his administration. So good luck to Caroline Leavitt. It was good having her there for almost 2 years as White House press secretary. So we'll see who's next. Alina Habba, that's one name that's being mentioned, possibly. So we'll see. President Trump, he signed executive orders this week relating to autism, basically to where autism in kids, so basically to where all these vaccines that are being pumped into them at once, they want to limit the vaccines for different things, like whatever, polio, whatever. They want to do it like in smaller increments than do them in large dosages, which they feel are contributed in just doing one shot. Like a big, large dosage at the same time is affecting children in some way that it could cause autism. That's what they found out. Now, you're going to have people dispute that, but I would trust the Trump administration for sure on that. So that's a good thing, okay? That's a very good thing. Also, President Trump, he spoke in New York the other day, an event with all kinds of the police. There was a lot of police at the event, and that I think he had a couple other different speaking events this week. I'm not sure. I think that's the one that sticks out. He's always doing so many different things, I lose track. Todd Blanche was officially named Attorney General. The Senate pushed that and finalized that. So good for Todd Blanche. He came right in, and it made a big. There was big news right off the bat when he was officially confirmed that 10 have been arrested in a fake Chinese marriage scheme where you were bringing in Chinese, I guess, men and women, but into the country and having like thousands of fake marriages, all to do with, all kinds of corrupt shit involved in that. I'll probably elaborate more on that next week, but anyway, a lot of fake marriages and trying to get people legalized in this country and stuff like that. And Todd Blanche announced that. The DOJ, they announced that the other day. There's been 10 arrests. Some lady in California, she was involved, I think, somehow. I don't know. There's all kinds of shit going on there. Anyway, good for getting corrupt people and giving them what's due when you do dumb shit like that. So also, this is kind of a slow week in terms of news. I don't think there's that much to tell. I think that they're kind of in the same situation with the war right now with Iran. United States and Iran really still, nothing finalized on a peace agreement or anything like that. Obviously, same with Russia and Ukraine. Nothing finalized on an agreement with that. The big talk this week was President Trump having to switch planes and jump into like a cargo truck in Turkey, get off of Air Force One, and switching planes because there was a threat from Iranian missiles were going to attack or something, and basically they left the press on that plane, and a lot of scrutiny is coming about that the press was left on that plane, but they had fighter jets surrounding the plane. So there was a threat, but they deemed the threat not large enough to take the press off and fly them home. Plus, Marco Rubio was on that plane. There was other higher end officials that were on the plane that President Trump did not fly on, to where he basically ended up getting on Air Force in England, is where he got on the plane that he was supposed to fly originally. And so I mean, and then people are ripping Trump. It was his decision. This is a Secret Service decision, guys. Like, when things like this happen, when there's high security measures, and there's threats towards the president, it's not him that's making the call. It's the Secret Service that's saying, this is what we're going to do to get you off the plane. We're going to put you in this truck. We're going to put you on another plane. And these people, the lefties, they know it's bullshit what they're saying, but they say it because they think it's going to hurt President Trump, and it's going to cross votes over to their side and stuff like that in elections. That's all it's about, guys. There's so many lies in politics, man, mainly, sadly, on the left Democrat side that are doing this shit right now. So it's crazy. And you still got these midterm primaries that are going on everywhere. And, we'll see what happens in November, as far as, finalization, who wins, who controls majority, obviously. And I'm trying to think if there was anything else really this week. Not that I could think of off the top of my head. I believe that was pretty much the base of what I want to cover. So it's a very short episode. Trying to think of anything else comes to the top of my head here. Luigi Mangione in New York. He admitted guilt of his killing. So he's basically avoids the death penalty, but he still he most likely will serve a sentence of life in prison. I believe there's some way with New York law they could still charge death penalty on him somehow, but it's most likely that that's not going to happen. It's probably going to be like a life in prison sentence, and that's why he pleaded guilty. Also, Medicaid is not, the Trump administration announced Medicaid is not going to be covering trans operations in younger kids. These kids are clueless about what's going on. They're pushed into these decisions, to do these trans surgeries at young ages. It's okay if that's what you want to do, but you do it at a later age, where it's where you're 18 or something. I mean, shit is crazy. So, guys, I think that's it for this week. I think I covered everything. I'm going to elaborate probably on a couple of these things that I mentioned that I didn't elaborate on enough, but I just wanted to get this out really quick. So I'll be back next week with another episode, and until then, I'll see you.